Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Title Update 5, Great Sword. Let's do this thing. Oh yes, fellow wielders of Maximus Big Wackerus, to give it its true Latin name. It's time to hit ever harder, climb ever higher, and third inspirational thing. Because, well, it's actually reached the point where the Great Sword set is so good that we're sort of running out of skills to add. So it's very almost awkward and almost choose your own adventure. So let's first address the new two skills that actually may define builds or not, depending on your weapon, in Title Update 5. First we have... That's my audio representation of Heaven Sent. The Amatsu signature skill. This obviously has no use for us because we don't care about infinite sharpness, nor infinite stamina, nor really any of the other perks it gives. Alright, moving on. Frenzied Bloodlust, however, on the surface, looks like it might be the new way for Greatsword. Having the ability to go to 4 wire bugs for strong arm stance spam is very exciting. At least it is until you, well, realize that sheathing takes it from a 90-second extra wire bug duration to like 2. And, well, I don't need to tell you that sheathing is something Greatsword does a lot because, A, power sheath, and B, you know, Frostcraft, the single greatest skill for every Greatsword player everywhere. So that one is kind of out too, which means we're left in an awkward position where the best set in Title Update 5 is pretty much going to end up having all of the same skills that the best set in Title Update 4 did, but pushed just a tiny bit farther. First of all, though, we need to identify what we'll be stabbing monsters with. Will it be Scorned Magnamalo continuing to reign supreme, or will the Amatsu Greatsword pip it to the post? Well, pip it to the post, what is that? Like, it is an expression, but where is it from? In the 19th century Britain, to pip someone meant you wounded or killed that person, usually with a gun. It was an effective way to defeat one's opponent. Really? Shooting them was? God, I love learning! Anyway, let's compare then, shall we? The Scorned Magnamalo Greatsword will take both at maximum 10 augment slots unlocked, but with no augments actually inserted, because of course they can both have the same augments. Scorned Magnamalo then starts at 370 true raw, it's got a load of purple and a 3 and a 2 slot. We times that 370 by 1.39 for the purple to get 514 for its effective raw. Allow for the extra slottage, which is worth about 2% damage per slot, and we end up at 534. For Amatsu then, we have 385, less purple, no slots, and of course that minus 25% affinity, which when allowed for is a minus 6.25% damage, or taking it to 360 from 385, then we times it by that purple and get to 500, which is 34 less than Scorned Magnamalo. Aha, though, I hear you cry! Amatsu Greatsword comes with the hidden passive, and by hidden I mean it's not so hidden, they literally tell you about it, that is your Silkbind attacks do more damage. And that damage is 10%. So if we do increase that by 10%, we do get to 550, which is 16 more than Scorned Magnamalo. And since most of our damage comes from Strongarm, which is a Silkbind attack, it is tempting to say, yeah, Amatsu's the way. However, it's not the way, and the reason is, enough of our damage comes from not strong arm stance, just from usual true charge combos when the monster's down, for example. We will have average less damage over the course of the hunt with the Amatsu Greatsword. The final nail in the coffin is, of course, Scorned Magnamalo can make use of build-up boost, which is about a 6.5% damage increase, and Amatsu can't because it has water element and not a status. So yeah, Scorned is still the champion, and you want to give it to to attack augments and the rest affinity. Now you can just go full attack, which is fine. It works out as the same damage increase as 2 attack to affinity is 4 attack, but I like to go with the affinity so we neatly have 100% affinity and there's no variance of our damage and no chance of the actual true charge hit not being a crit, but this one is up to you. Alright, finally we can talk about, the actual armor. This is defined by, well, one major change in Title Update 4 involving Frostcraft. The fact that it can A, now be found on talismans, and B, now be found as curious crafting results. This means that we are free of Velkhana armor, and its really inefficient skills and slot distribution. Well, they weren't that bad, but we can of course do better if we don't need to use it for Frostcraft, our number 1 skill that is a 30% damage boost. So basically what you need to do is spam do our new curious melding until you get the best build-up boost talisman possible, as this is where our build-up boost is going to come from. I have 3 build-up boosts, 2 speed sharpening, and some decent slottage, so yeah, not bad, but trust me, you can get way better. You just want as much build-up boost and then otherwise big slottage and useful secondary skill, and you are laughing all the way to the highest of damage numbers. Then we go to curious crafting, and you want all 5 pieces of your armor to come together to achieve one simple goal: +3 Frostcraft without losing too many key required skills. So I've sacrificed a crit boost for a Frostcraft on one of these pieces, but is a necessary evil as Frostcraft is that valuable, and of course the set still ends up with 3 crit boosts, so we can get away with it. The few of the pieces that we've chosen here especially do let you get Frostcraft, which the game only treats as an A tier skill, so you've got quite a high chance of rolling it, especially with skill melding. We'll be using the Chaotic Helmet, which has Element Exploit and Strife, neither of which we need, and both are good to roll away in favour of Frostcraft. We can roll away some Stun Resist on the boots in favour of Frostcraft. We can roll away Latent Power on the gloves in favour of Frostcraft. And all well and good, once that has been achieved, we are ready to put our armour on and decorate it up. The armour in question then is Chaotic Helmet, Risen Teostra Chest, Risen Valstrax gloves, a little cheeky bit of Scorned Magnamalo waist, and then finally Risen Valstrax legs. And once we decorate all of this up, this is where we will end up. And you may be thinking then, whoa, Mail of Hellfire and a rank of Coalescence? What's going on here? Obviously they're from the Scorned Waste, but why? Well, the thing is, as I hinted at the beginning, because we don't really need any of the new armor or the new armor skills in Title Update 5, we're kind of just looking to enhance the Title Update 4 set of skills that was perfect for us. And you can do it in one of 3 main ways. You can weave in full Agitator, but the value of that is very low, especially against afflicted monsters that don't actually have that much enrage uptime as you would like for using the skill, so that's kind of out. The other option is Dereliction, which you can now get on talismans, for example, freeing you of Geismagorn pieces, but then you're playing with Dereliction, and I don't like to recommend that because I know a lot of people, and rightly, find it quite irritating to have the permanent health drain. And then the third option is Mail of Hellfire, and a little bit extra too that we'll get to. Mail of Hellfire is just a permanent +15 true raw while you're sat in Red Scroll, which is fantastic. The defense down is negligible, rank 1 is the sweet spot. We have Coalescence then because we also have the pièce de résistance cherry on top here of Hellfire Cloak with the big level 2 rank decoration that exists for it, making it very easy to get. This of course gives us constant Hellfire while in combat with an enraged monster and for a minute after once it has stopped being enraged. This lets us do 2 things. Number 1, it gives us near permanent Coalescence uptime, and rank 1 of Coalescence is the most valuable point. It's essentially just a permanent 12 raw, which is really good, and a little bit of extra blast buildup, which yeah, does matter over the course of the hunt from the weapon. It also will give us bursts of damage over the hunt, which adds a few thousand damage as you go along, and because Power Sheaf drops the Hellfire, we don't even need to really think about it, we'll just naturally be plopping it down and exploding it on the monster as we do our thing. Finally, the first one of every hunt will give you a knockdown. Yeah, even against something like Amatsu. And a knockdown for free guaranteed for a greatsword is a free true charge combo or a free put a small barrel bomb down and get a strong arm counter off, which obviously translates to a huge amount of free damage that obviously I can't calculate into the set math, but you can see why it's just so in practice effective. So that's what I have gone for, the Coalescence Mail of Hellfire Hellfire Cloak Infusion on top of the title update for best set skill set that we still maintain here thanks to the new talismans and curious melding. Oh, I hope that all made a lot of sense, and I realize there's a lot to, well, kind of justify and go over there. So this is what happens when we decorate it all up, put everything in place, and make it happen. We end up with just the gorgeous skill set of Attack 7, Crit Ice 7, Hellfire Cloak 4, Critical Boost 3, Weakness Exploit 3, Offensive Guard 3, Full Stun Resist, Full Speed Sharpen, though do note, use your 1 slots however you want once you have got Full Stun Resist. Everything past Stun Resist is personal preference. Then we have our build-up boost, of course, our Frostcraft, and a little bit of fun extras like that Mail of Hellfire, like that Coalescence, the one required Wirebug Whisperer to keep our third for as long as possible. I've put in a bit of Teostra Blessing just for more blast, because again, spare 1 slot, and that's all well and good. This results in a lot of power, a lot of utility, and of course, a lot of fun. And if you're wondering where to get the big Affinity Plus decoration that you need here, well, it's from Risen Shagaru or Risen Valstrax at 241 plus anomaly investigation levels, so yeah, a little bit of a grind to get hold of these quality decorations. Rampage, of course, remains the anti-wyvern, as the 5% extra raw damage is still supreme there, which leaves us not much else to do other than, of course, the maths. And we all love the maths. We have then our base Scorn Magala Great Sword at 380 raw after augmenting it up with the 2 attack and 2 affinity. We then add the 10 attack from attack 7, the 10 attack from Coalescence 1 with a rough 80% uptime, which is about right, and the extra 15 from Mail of Hellfire for 415. We then multiply that by 1.1 for attack 7, 1.4 for 100% affinity with 3 crit boost, 1.39 for purple sharpness, 1.15 for offensive guard, 1.3 for Frostcraft, and 1.066 for build-up boost 3, happening 1/3 of the time, giving us a grand total of 1,415! Oh, that is good! Bear in mind, the best title update 4 set was at 1,280 or so a gain of 135-ish is really appreciable, especially when you realize that's not allowing for the extra blast, that is not allowing for the Hellfire explosion damage, it's not allowing for the free Hellfire down, and all of that good stuff. So yeah, this really is quite potent, and above all, a ridiculously well-rounded build with lots of space to do what you want with it. And if you want more skills after this, if you get a luckier talisman than me, if you get luckier curious crafts than me, well, finish Wirebug Whisperer to 3 if you want to strong arm more, or you can add more Coalescence to min-max that. You can, of course, go into something like Bloodrite to get some survivability, and really, again, the world is your oyster when it comes to the trimmings on this. Or, of course, if you want to just pure damage, add what ranks of Agitator you can afterwards, or hell, put 1 rank of Dereliction in if you get like a build-up boost 3 Dereliction 1 talisman, and just go crazy. In any case, yeah, things were a lot more flexible thanks to curious crafting and talismans being just so open with essentially every skill in the game. I hope you have found this useful. I wish you luck in your slaying and destroying of all monsters with your mighty mighty, mighty sword. And until next time, like if you've enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell for more. Consider supporting the future channel on Patreon down below. And until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.